Where Digital Sunsets Fall. Chapter 1. Echoes in an Empty Home. The late autumn afternoon in Manhattan cast warm golden light through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Margaret Sullivan's Upper West Side apartment. At 62, she sat curled in her favorite armchair. Yet the light that once brought her joy now felt hollow. The large smart display on the wall cycled through a slideshow of automatically curated memories from her cloud storage. "Alexa, turn off the music." The gentle voice of her smart speaker responded from the ceiling. Music stopped. "Margaret, you seem a bit down today. Would you like me to play some calming meditation music?" "No, thanks. I just need some quiet." Margaret picked up her tablet from the coffee table. On the screen was her late husband David's Facebook account. 2 years after his passing from a sudden heart attack, his profile remained active. A memories notification appeared 2 years ago today. It showed a photo of them from their trip to Martha's Vineyard. David was beaming at the camera, while Margaret leaned against his shoulder, both looking genuinely happy. Tears welled up in her eyes. 2 years had passed, yet his absence still felt so sharp. These quiet afternoons were the hardest. This apartment had once been filled with laughter and animated discussions. David was a renowned architect, and Margaret had been a fashion designer with her own boutique in Soho. Though they worked in different fields, they shared the same passion for creativity. Evenings were spent sharing stories of their day over a glass of wine. "Hi, Mom." Suddenly, her daughter Sarah's face appeared on the wall-mounted screen via video call. Despite the time difference making it past midnight in San Francisco, Sarah was still at her tech startup office. "Honey, why are you calling so late?" "Mom, you look sad." "You're looking at Dad's photos again, aren't you?" Sarah knew her mother's heart too well. Running her own tech company, she worried constantly about her mother despite her busy schedule. "It's not that. Just the weather's been gloomy." "Mom, you can't just stay home all the time. Why don't you try some activities? There are online classes, book clubs, hobby groups. At my age, what's the point?" "Age has nothing to do with it. You're still young, and you used to be so social. Dad wouldn't want you staying cooped up like this." Sarah's words hit home. Margaret fell silent for a moment. Her daughter was right. David had always been happiest when she was active and engaged with life. "All right, I'll think about it. Promise me, Mom. I have to go now. Board meeting. Love you." The screen went dark, and the apartment felt even more spacious and empty. Margaret gazed out the window where the sun was setting over the Hudson River. Surrounded by all this technology, she paradoxically felt more isolated than ever. Chapter 2. An Unexpected Connection. That evening, Margaret reflected on Sarah's words. Lying in bed with her tablet, She browsed the internet and stumbled upon an online community called Classic Film Society. It featured the Golden Age films she and David had loved watching together. A post titled Revisiting Fellini's 8 caught her attention. The author used the username Cinemaphile. Reading it, she was struck by both the insightful analysis and the warm, conversational tone that felt like chatting with an old friend. Margaret gathered her courage and left a comment. Margaret S62. Fellini's films never failed to blur the line between dreams and reality. Guido's creative struggles particularly resonate with me. I used to work in the creative field myself. A few hours later, a reply appeared. Cinemaphile. Nice to meet you, Margaret S62. I can see you view Fellini through a creative lens. May I ask what field you worked in? I used to make documentaries myself. Guido's artistic torment felt all too familiar. Margaret S62. I was a fashion designer. Retired now, though. Documentaries sound fascinating. What subjects did you focus on? Cinemaphile, mostly stories about things that are disappearing. Historic neighborhoods, family-owned businesses, old movie theaters. I tried to capture the beauty of things being forgotten by time. This conversation sparked daily exchanges about films between Margaret and Cinemaphile, from Antonioni's Red Desert to Tarkovsky's Andrei Rublev to Kurosawa's Ikiru. Their discussions went far beyond simple reviews, evolving into deep philosophical reflections on life, art, love, and loss. After a month, Margaret noticed she was changing without realizing it. She'd wake up each morning and immediately check for new posts from Cinemaphile. After watching a film, she'd find herself planning what to discuss with him. One day, Cinemaphile shared something personal. Cinemaphile watching Ikiru again. I feel like the protagonist. Retirement gives me plenty of time, but I can't seem to find meaningful purpose. How do you find life after stepping away from your career? Margaret hesitated, then answered honestly. Margaret S62. I struggle with the same thing, especially since losing my husband 2 years ago. Each day just seems to pass without real meaning. Cinemaphile, I'm sorry for your loss. That must be incredibly difficult. I lost my wife 3 years ago to cancer. I haven't been able to pick up my camera since. After this confession, their conversations deepened. Starting with films, they began sharing thoughts on grief, aging, and how to live the remainder of their lives meaningfully. Chapter 3, Stirrings of the Heart. By the second month, Margaret began experiencing unfamiliar feelings. When chatting with Cinemaphile, something like excitement would flutter in her chest. An emotion she'd forgotten existed. Cinemaphile, beautiful weather today. Days like this make me want to sit in a cafe, people watch, and enjoy a good cup of coffee. What kind of coffee do you prefer? Margaret S62. I love a well-made pour-over. David was into roasting his own beans, so I got spoiled with excellent coffee at home. Cinema File. Home roasted coffee. How wonderful. I'm a coffee lover, too, but drinking it alone feels rather lonely these days. Margaret S62. I know exactly what you mean. I still catch myself making 2 cups out of habit. These everyday conversations gave Margaret new energy, yet they also brought guilt. Am I forgetting David too quickly? Is my heart changing too fast? These thoughts circled in her mind. One evening, Alexa made an announcement. Margaret, today marks the 2-year anniversary of David's passing. Would you like me to play the memorial playlist you created? Margaret's heart sank. She'd been so absorbed in her conversations with Cinema File that she'd nearly forgotten this significant day. Yes, please play it. Bach's Goldberg Variations, David's favorite, filled the living room. The wall display automatically showed their cherished photos together. Margaret sat on the sofa and wept, tears of missing him, but also of guilt. That night, she didn't message Cinema File. For several days, she avoided going online, yet part of her longed to check if he'd written to her. A week later, Margaret finally logged back in. Several messages from Cinema File were waiting. Cinema File, haven't heard from you in days. I hope you're all right. Cinema File, I hope I didn't say something inappropriate. I'm worried about you. Cinema File, please don't feel pressured to respond. I just want to know you're safe. Reading his thoughtful messages made Margaret even more conflicted. Was it wrong to enjoy conversations with someone so caring? Margaret S62, I'm sorry. I was dealing with something personal. I didn't mean to worry you. Cinema File, I'm relieved you're okay. We all have difficult times. I'll be here whenever you feel like talking.